Hey, what up, everybody? Steve Bridge coming to you with week 3 of Total Divas. Honestly, I went into this show with high expectations. I really loved week 1 and week 2. Week 3, I don't know. I mean, I still like the show. I don't really, honestly, look forward to the show that much, but I honestly have a mark-out moment every day when I realize that it is Sunday and Total Divas comes on. It's happened to me the last 2 weeks that I've ugh, here we go. Next week, Total Divas looks like it's going to go up against SummerSlam. So more than likely, hopefully, it'll be on my DVR when I still get home. And it won't get deleted, or I will have to go high, far, and low to find it. Last week on my video, one of the highlights of it was my notes that I made. So right there, of course, Nikki and Brie, I had to write down who their boyfriend was to keep them apart. There's the stuff about the dancing fat guys, girls. I apologize. Last week I called them the dancing fat chicks. They're not fat at all. They're pretty good babes, but they dance for the dancing fat guys, so I always call them that. But there's your rookies, and then here's your add-on people. I guess the biggest story of the show would have to revolve around the Funkadactyls, Cameron and Naomi. Naomi honestly wasn't involved in the show that much. She was sick. She had tonsillitis, which she had to take medication for, which led to a yeast infection, which is bad news. You don't want none of that. But Cameron, who's engaged to Jimmy Uso, they've been involved in a relationship for 2 years. She's only 25. He's looking to get the next step going in the relationship, even though they are engaged, moving towards getting married. A lot of the stuff in this storyline hit close to home. He was looking for her to, start wearing their engagement ring, which does make sense. She does back it up with the fact that, being a WWE diva is sort of giving off the image of, being single, being available, being easily available. And if she's wearing a ring all the time, it's sort of, say that she's spoken for. And she's saying that, after the day they do get married, she won't have a problem with, having the ring on. But one of the things that really, spoke to me and really sort of made me throw my hands up in the air, I think I want to quit this show, was that she wanted to handle her relationship publicly and privately, while yet they're working this out on a reality show on E! With over 1 million viewers watching. Well, I'm glad they were able to work this out. By the end of the show, they did have a match. They were involved in an 8-man tag that for some reason the Usos worked as heels. I know there's a lot of matches. They said this was on Superstars, so maybe it didn't have to really make sense. The Usos teamed with the Bellas, while the Funkadactyls and the Dancing Fat Guys teamed together. There was a shoot involved in this, and if they do more, in-ring shoots on Superstars, I'm sure more people would watch. But they came down to Cameron and Jimmy Uso involved in the ring, and she decided that she didn't want to tag out. She stood up to her man, and she hit him with a hurricanrana, and then Brodus Clay came in and cleaned house. But honestly, I don't know. Having a show based around them probably wasn't the best bet. They tried to work a whole storyline with Nikki versus Brie. We got to see their first time they really used decisive editing and trying to make the show seem more appealing. For weeks, we've seen this scene of John Cena driving the car with Daniel Bryan being in the passenger seat, and hearing John Cena say, "Doesn't that seem kind of selfish?" John said that, but Bryan wasn't even in the car when they did that. In this episode, he was talking to Nikki because Nikki was mad at Brie because Brie and Bryan Danielson were moving from San Diego to Phoenix, and Nikki felt that, the whole eBay thing was going to be dropped off in her lap, them selling their dresses and autographed pictures and everything, that she was going to have to take over the foundation of this because Brie and Bryan Danielson wanted to move to Phoenix to be closer to their little dog, which more than likely probably was the main storyline since they're the most important people of the show. John was the person who stepped in and talked to Nikki, got her to apologize. Bryan wasn't on the show pretty much at all, just the beginning, but Nikki, who I honestly really hate on the show, did come down a few steps and, realized that she was mad at her sister for the wrong reasons, which didn't really make sense in the long run. Anybody who's had a roommate knows that there is going to come a day when the other person is going to leave. It just, it's not a forever kind of thing. It's funny how Nikki is mad at Brie because Brie wants to move, but yet I truly believe that the bitch that Nikki is, if Jon said, I want you to come live with me full time in Tampa or wherever his huge mansion is, I'm sure she would leave on a dime and would have left Brie sitting there with everything in her hands. She was only mad because Brie was doing it to her. She wasn't mad because of the situation that was going on. I'm sure if the situation was reversed, it would have been any problem at all. Going with the newbies, JoJo was actually on the show and actually had a storyline. The once loved Eva Marie, who turned into a hoe bag bitch last week, was missing from the show. We did see her in the ring taking a couple bumps, but it was very little that we saw her involved in any storylines that was going on. Sebastian, JoJo's boyfriend, showed up, and honestly, he was a little bit jealous of his career, wanted JoJo to himself. I guess that they've been together for a long time. They've known each other since JoJo was 5. And Sebastian pretty much laid down the law, said, you're going to either come home with me or, we're done. And JoJo smartingly chose her WWE career over Sebastian and decided that this is what she wanted and just came to peace with it. And Sebastian honestly made a pretty big mistake. You got to understand where he's coming from, having a girlfriend that you're never able to see, that you're only able to talk to on the phone, and with her career and lifestyle that goes along with it, always having to sort of wonder about, who she's hanging out with and this like that. It honestly can make a guy crazy unless he's really, really set down in, understanding that his girlfriend loves him and isn't going to do anything stupid. But, that sort of tore at the heartstrings for me right there for you. But JoJo was able to sit down. We saw Natalia and Bill DeMott, who I thought were trainers for NXT, but apparently they're counselors and therapists, because not only did Cameron and Jimmy try to work out their problems inside the ring with Bill DeMott, but JoJo went to Natalia, and they had a big, long sit-down discussion deciding if Sebastian was the man enough to go out with JoJo during this whole thing, and Natalia pretty much said that Sebastian wasn't strong enough to support this situation that they were going through, and pretty much dump the motherfucker and move on. I don't know. If the show's on next week, I'm going to watch the show. This show, to me, honestly wasn't that great, but I'm sure if you build a storyline around John Cena again, and Bryan Danielson, throw in Nikki and Brie, who I really hate fucking Nikki. I just hate her. You cut out the Funkadactyls, maybe give us a little bit more of this Hobeg Eva Marie. It's a good show. It just was a bad pairing. They have to put storylines on there for every show, so it's not their fault that I didn't like this show, but we'll see where we go from here. I'm sure if they do something with John, I'm sure I'll love it. Being Cena, not Uso. Peace out.